Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be before you today to bring forth another interesting title. Hey, I was thinking about something. Someone asked me, what is pussification? I said I read an article on one of the local channels where it said a pussification of the American male. So I said, that's interesting. So I read it. It was talking about weak individuals, weak-minded males who acting in a feminine way, did not stand up for anything. And if you look at any of the TV shows, a lot of shows putting the woman in the female role and the man in the woman role. You even see it in commercials. So it's a subtle seed of planning, what I call, where they just simply make men more weak. And I know from experience and talking to females that a lot of them, when they say they meet a man, he's not acting like a man, whatever that means, acting like a man. He's more feminized in his thinking. He's not strong. He's not, assertive. He don't express himself. He's mostly expressing himself in a group manner thinking, not thinking as an individual, his ideas, his belief, his dreams, his goals. He's just constantly thinking in a weak-minded way. And we know, and a good example of that is when I'm sure if you do your research, you may have friends that allow the male to live in the household with them and they're not even married. The man is living off the female, especially if he's not working. He's selling drugs or doing something illegal. Say he's providing for the family, providing for them. But in actuality, he has no responsibility because if he decides to stop working, he can just live off the female. So a lot of things that men are doing is guided toward feminization of thinking. They're not thinking as a male. It's designed, a lot of commercials and TV shows are designed to destroy a man thinking. So a man relies on the woman mostly for advice. Nothing wrong with getting advice from a woman, don't get me wrong. But a man should stand up and begin to be assertive and not be weak-minded in his thinking, So when I began the Pussification series of the American male, I only sought out to do one. And as I finished that particular one, I had a thought, why don't you pick various subjects that kind of associate with a man or a woman, black, white, or whatever the topic of the day of discussion. It may not center around men only. It may be men and women. It may be white. It may be black. But whoever look at it will be able to get something from it. So as I thought about it, I said, you know what? I'm just going to continue bringing forth messages, that I feel that can be helpful for any individual that want to hear some informative, educational thing, because we're not really getting it in school, and we know we're not really getting it in the churches. We're not really getting it, it's more, this society has been driven down towards me. It's all about me. It's all about the mighty dollar. I got mine, you get your own. People are not concerned with other people, even around them. There are very few select people that see things around them and want to make a difference. And because of friends and family members and don't know where to go, they just put it on the back burner. And it's a form of pride. We all have pride. I have pride. So my message today, discussion, I call it the pussification, prideification. Why do I use the ification part? I did a little research because it's a verb. It's said to move, to act now, a beginning of something. So you can say all of my messages that I bring forth is about bringing interesting topic. Hope it will cause you to do something, to go ahead to make a change. So we all have a form of pride. We just don't want to admit it. It's like a woman who has a hole in her socks and she don't want to share with anyone, or pantyhose. She's not going to expose that by saying to her friends that I have a hole in my pantyhose. So pride raises its head like a snake. It's very subtle. It has the appearance of being good. In the obvious, if we see something bad, we're not going to gravitate to it. So mostly we follow what appears to be good, but when we dive into what appeared to be good, it turned out to be a snake that bit us. So we all have a form of pride, and this is part one. It may be it's a part one. I don't know how many parts are going to be to the message, but I'll be going forth as I'm led to bring forth something that you can learn from. So we must first believe that we have pride. We all have pride. And for us to think that we don't have pride, we are saying that we are complete, we are perfect, we have no problems, we are just going along to get along. We say we're going along to get along, I'm not going to be involved, I'm just going to keep things to myself, and I'm not going to share my opinion and my thoughts. So pride is very subtle, as I mentioned. If you look for it, you got to first recognize it. How can you recognize pride? You must recognize pride in your behavior first, and then when you recognize it in your behaviors and things you do and say, then you can help other people. You can't, it's like telling a smoker that they should not smoke because of the consequences of smoking cigarettes. And also at the same time, you are smoking cigarettes. Do you not think that the same consequences that you are mentioning to your friends or family members is not going to fall upon you? Get real. It's going to fall upon you. You're going to experience some form of consequences based on your action. So to deny that you don't have pride is to say you are perfect and complete and you have no issues and you don't need to talk to anyone. So pride raises its head like a snake. We all must look out for our own self-imposed biting. We bite ourselves by the things we say. We bite ourselves by the things what we do and what we accept from other individuals. When we are able to do it, we recognize that we have strengths and weaknesses, and we have a self-description of self. A lot of us, if we really be honest and look in what I call my mirror, of our own self-imposed mirror, if we are honest, we will see our strengths, our weaknesses. But most of us don't want to recognize our weaknesses in front of people because our status, our color of our skin, where we live, how much money we have in the bank, our job status, various reasons that people will not admit their true description of themselves. They go, I call it, behind the closed doors. They're in the closet. They're hiding their feelings. They don't want to express themselves. So they stay in their own self-imposed cocoon because that is their protection that they sought. And they only come out for a selective few. They come out for special friends. They come out for reason. They come out mostly if it benefits them. So people will come out to do things if we should not be in a way where we should not be in a position that if it benefits me, then I will do something about it. We hear this all the time. I'm going away from my notes, but I'm just following, my thoughts. We all say this, I don't like my neighborhood. I don't like this particular town. I don't like whatever. But did you ever ask God, what do he want you to do? But most people don't ask God as they know God, because when he tells them that they must stay there or go there, they don't want to. So they don't bother to ask. They have their own prideful thinking that I know where I should move. I know where I should be because I see how it benefits me. A lot of our decisions, I'm guilty of a lot of our decisions, a lot of my decision when I made them back in the day was only centered around self-centeredness, what's in it for me, what I can get out of it, how it benefits me. But I didn't go with the intention of hurting anyone behind it. It was what about me, how it benefits me, how I can get and squeeze the lemon, figuratively speaking, to benefit me. And then as I got older and start looking at my life, self evaluation, if you want to call it that, I determined that my choices and the things I said and have done was wrong. I learned from my mistakes. I thank God that he watched over me and allowed me to be here today, to sit here, to share what I'm sharing with you today. So a lot of our choices that we make, if we really be honest and look in the mirror and to really be honest, most people won't do that, because if they look in the mirror, they will see that the things that they are doing and the choices they have made may not be working out for them, because they have their mindset on another location. And then I have this thing, you can move to any location in the world and have the same problem while you're having the problem, because the thought that you think, you must change your way of thinking before you move to a new neighborhood or out of a new neighborhood. Because if you don't change your way of thinking and then you move into that neighborhood, you're going to bring that same thinking in that neighborhood, especially if you go to another city. We should not be looking at a location to define us, a location to make us what we are to be. Yes, if God has sent us there, we go there. But our choices, as I would say, those of us who say we are Christians, are we really following the thoughts of God? Are we following our own self-interest? So pride deceives us to believe that, we have it made because of a college degree behind our name, the money, the status, the property, house, the car, or whatever lifestyle we are living. And we use all those things, and then we go in the direction that I want to go there because I see that it benefits me. It may benefit you if you really think of it, but what if it's not time for you to move? I'm quite sure a lot of places I have gone, I thought it will benefit me because I had in my mind that it'll be this and be that and be this and be that. And then when I get there, it's like, oh, wow, I should have stayed where I left. Pride raised up its thoughts to allow me to think these thoughts of how it benefits me. And then I follow the thought, get to the location, and all of a sudden there's a letdown. Why is there a letdown? Because I have imagined that this is how it should be, and then you run back home. And I have done that many times. So find pride, there's a cause and effect. There's a cause and an effect when we exercise pride in a wrongful manner. Our pride bring about circumstances. A lot of things that you and I have done or experiencing now may have been results of our being prideful. And you and I are only responsible for ourselves. No one can make us do anything. We have to choose. People say, oh, you made me mad. No, I did not make you mad. You choose to get mad based on what I said. It's how we respond to what people are saying to us will make us a better person. If you're going to respond in a negative way, then that person will not make you mad. I'll cause you to respond that way. You choose to. So we have a choice to choose whatever. We have our own motive. So pride slowly slithers up and bites us, and we have our own self. So pride is defined as a feeling of self-respect and personal worth, satisfaction with your achievement. A lot of individuals in life, what have they achieved? Because of pride, they won't go back to school. They won't go get a GED. They won't ask for help. They just get along to get along. They are existing every minute of the day. They are simply existing because their pride won't allow them to say, you know what? I made some mistakes. I need some help. This is my problem. Make sure you pick the right person that will give you good advice. Don't pick a gossiper because they go back and tell your story. Say, girl, man, you hear what I heard? No, you pick someone that you can trust that will give you an honest assessment of what you're going through. And then after talking to them, talking to a pastor, talking to a mother, father, brother, sister, people that you can rely on and what you had experienced in the past, you put all that in the hopper and you decide, okay, these are the disadvantages, these are the advantages, and then this is what I decide, this is what I'm going to do. And that's the best suggestion I can give to you. We must follow a certain standards. Everything is driven by a motive. A car has an engine, a bicycle has a pedal. Everything we do is driven by our motive. So some motives may be good and some are bad. We must define. It's like me saying, excuse me, a good example of a motive is I ask you may I borrow $20? You may have the money, but the first thought will come to your mind, when I'm going to get this money back, which is rightfully right thought, thinking. But then you might think, what have they done for me lately? And you might say, I don't have the money. So what is your true motive behind the things you say and do? And that also ties up in pride. Pride, being prideful, reveal our ignorance, our lack of understanding. It show contempt, looking down on others, respect for self. Some individuals do not have respect for self. I was in the library yesterday doing some research, and this young man walked up to the computer in a certain section, and he had his underwear, he had his pants, trousers, saggy pants below his cheek. I mean, it was low. And he had the matching pants, red pants, I think, and he had in black shoes. So he's matching his underwear, red and black boxer short, with his pants. And he stood there and he laid, rested his arm on top of the countertop. And I looked at him. He didn't see me because his back was turned. And I watched him and I said, this young man has no pride. It may be the thing of the day and this is me and this is what I'm about. But what does it say what does it say about the individual who wearing saggy pants? One thing I learned, that when you begin to speak the truth about individual behavior, that you call prejudice, or you call not going with the flow, you call you're not going down with this and down with that, and everybody has an identity, whatever. But if you think about it, it defines that young man thinking. You walking in a public setting. I can see if you're home, if you want to do it, that's fine. You're in a public setting. What if you went to a job interview? Will the person who's interviewing you, when he or she see you coming through the door, you don't have the job. You might blame it on your race. You may blame it on didn't give me a fair chance, but you must dress for success. Wearing your trousers, it's like, you may say, well, it's a turnoff. No, saggy pants to some females is not a turnoff. It may be sexy. Think about it. I've gone to Walmart. I walk in the street, driving my car, and see nice, attractive looking females walking with a male who have his pants below his waist, and you can see his white boxer short, or you can see his whatever he decided to wear that particular day. I remember seeing one man had white boxers short, and I say, wait a minute, he had a number 2 stain on his boxer short, and the female was holding his hand. And I say to myself, that female choose to be with that man. Nobody made her. She choose to be with that man. And guess what? They're walking in the mall, walking in the location. They're actually telling people that they don't care about they don't respect themselves. While you walk in a public setting with your boxer short with a stain on your white trousers, and you wonder why you're not getting nowhere. Pride, saying that I'm not going to pull up my pants because this is me. But where did it come from? I did a message on saggy pants when I worked in a prison. It comes from the prison institution. Do your own homework. Everything that comes from that we see that sparks in the community, TV, sports, music industry, they create some kind of fad, and everybody want to identify with that fad. We as individuals must begin to not be too prideful to say, you know what? All my friends are doing that. I'm going to pull my trousers up. Yeah, this girl may like this kind of guy, but I'm going to be respectful. I have respect for myself. I'm going to respect others. Our pride gets us in trouble when we force our pride on other people. We want people to accept our belief regardless if they do not agree with it. Everybody don't have to disagree with your opinion. That's your opinion, that's your choice, and that's your decision. But don't force the person to accept it, because that he or she also has an opinion that I don't be walking around with a man. I've seen females with saggy pants, not so low, but mostly in the front, not in the back, because they're showing their tattoo, they're studying their navel, or something to that effect. So have respect for yourself and respect others. And refusing to ask for help, as I mentioned, is a form of pride, and pride brings on shame. Automatically, when we are prideful, we bring destruction upon ourselves. Destruction followed by pride, or vice versa. We bring destruction on ourselves. We are responsible for the things that happen to us. Our decision, our motive that are prideful bring about a cause and effect. Not the friend, we are. If you are honest with yourself, you can say, I see from what I heard so far, I see that I am manifesting pride in a lot of areas. Thank you for sharing this with me. Some may hear what I'm saying and say, I'm not going to accept anything you said. That's a form of pride. There's nothing wrong with listening to someone who has a different opinion than you and learn something from it. Take this and that and add it to what you know. And then it makes you a better person. To shut down an individual thinking, to shut down and refuse to even consider something that you hear for the first time because it don't go along with what you believe and what you want, then guess what? You're going to reap the consequences of your action. Many people are blinded by their pride. They refuse to listen, to follow any form of helpful truth that will point them toward being a better person. Most people just won't. Maybe because they were raised in a single family home, maybe because of the job and status, as I mentioned earlier. Our pride, we all are hurt. When someone hurt our feeling, it can be a form of pride. It's how we handle what we hear. If they are telling us the truth, are they telling us the truth about ourselves, or they're lying? If they're telling us a lie about ourselves, then we should correct them and explain to them why you feel the way you feel. And must say that a lot of individuals don't know how to express themselves in a way they don't know how to express themselves in a way that will define how they feel, what they are seeking. They just say what's on their mind, and if you don't like it, so be it. We all have our own pressure point when it comes to pride. We have a panic button. We have a button where if you go this far or go too close to me, I'm going to hit it. You're going to hit it with words of response by saying, get away from me, I don't like you. You're going to be triggered. It's going to be a trigger mechanism in you. It's like when I was in law enforcement, if a woman has been raped, she remembers the smell, what the person said, what the person did to her. And so when she meet another man, if she has not gotten over what took place, what happened to her, that man may say something to her in a certain way. He may smell a certain way as her rapist, and she may just hit her panic button and just attack him verbally, and maybe not physically, but just verbally. So we all have our pressure point, and we must learn our pressure point, and don't apply our pressure point to people that don't mean us no harm. If you have a pressure point that is easily pushed in someone you're talking to, push that pressure point. They did not know that was a sensitive subject, or it has bad memories. So don't treat them in a manner of, you know what, I don't like you. I don't like what you said. You give you a little, you give your little speech about what you went through in life, through family, friends, and whatever. But the individual did not know that was a pressure point to you. So we must begin to think before we respond. Learn our motive behind the things we do. Because pride is very, very deceptive and cunning, and we do it all the time. Every day, every moment of our lives is followed by our prideful behaviors and what we do. Pride, we can determine our pride from our motive and the things we say. If a friend share a dream or a goal that they want to better themselves or they want to change their lifestyle, we should listen to them because they call us and contact us. They want to hear another opinion. They might be doing a self-assessment about themselves. And by doing that, we listen, we respond accordingly, and hopefully they'll take our advice and put it in the hopper and make a right decision. Our comment, so our response should be in a supportive nature. But most of the time, when we share our dream with family members and friends and people that we feel that, okay with us, what happens? A lot of the time, they speak in a negative manner. Oh, you don't want to do that because of yada, yada kind of stuff. Oh, I did that, yada, yada kind of stuff. Oh, what? Oh, whoa, don't do that. Don't do that. And I had this thought before I came on air, why do we do that? Maybe it's a push button. Maybe that person who is responding that way have tried themselves and didn't succeed. I know a lot of individuals would like to move from their hometown, but they don't want to because various reasons. That's their choice. And then when somebody else decides to move out of town, are they encouraging? Sometimes, depending on who you talk to. From my experience, most of the time, people will try to talk you out of it. Sometimes it may be good. It can go both ways. But most of the time, they try to talk you out of it. And they get jealous and they be prideful and they don't want to support you. Even if they can help you financially or just move a few boxes or, with words or whatever, they don't do it because they are prideful. They are self-centered, only focusing on themselves because what they went through, what they had done, and because they did not succeed, they feel that, I'm going to just go with the flow and just tell you that you may be making the wrong decision because it's not going to work out for you. And guess what? The individual may think about it and make a decision. So when we respond, our response should be in a godly manner, godly suggestions, truth to negative. Go both ways. Give the person a lot of information to give them, to help them make the decision because they have to make a decision, not you. So the key behind anything that we do, I'm going to emphasize that the key behind anything that we do is our motive. What is our motive behind the things we want to do? It's going to be two things. There's no middle road. It's going to be what's in it for me, what I think, feel, want, and believe, and what I get from it, or it's going to be, is it a godly motive where I'm going to be used by him? Has nothing to do with me, it's him. He may send me to the baddest part of town, and I don't want to go there because that's not my lifestyle. That's not how I've been raised, but that's where he see that I can benefit. People can benefit from what I have to offer. Money, time, feed the homeless, do whatever. But guess what? And it's sad to say, from my experience, most people, when they make decisions, like me, I had to learn the hard way. And when you learn the hard way, you kind of share what you learn with others individuals. Of course, they have their own choice, but then when you share it with people, you give them opportunity. So it's going to be self-centered, only about you, or it's going to be a godly center. What do you want me to do here or there? And if he to say, stay there or go there, then your motive will reveal who are you listening to. Are you looking in the mirror or how it benefits you and what's in it for you? Or are you looking in the other mirror of life and say, I'm going to be used by God? We must decide to look and examine ourselves. I call it a self-assessment. Clearly see how we see ourselves. And the way we see ourselves will help us make the right decision. We have strengths, we have weaknesses, what is our work values, our interests, our personalities. I mentioned weakness. And if you did not finish school, it's not a put down. Just go back to school and get a GED. A GED will go a long way when you go for an interview, because if you think about it, if your interviewers read on the application that you got a GED, that may go a long way than a person say, I'm a dropout. Because a person, I doubt they put on a dropout or they finish school in such and such a grade, they may not get hired. The chances of you getting hired, is slim to none if you did not finish school, because the job that you may be applying for may require a high school education. And we have a lot of individuals in the community who have not finished school and blaming other races of people for them not succeeding. So they go to the street and sell drugs or do illegal things, and they allow the government to be the father of their children and the husband that they marry temporarily until life get better, and then they have a choice to get off the government help fund. That's another, I spoke about this in the last message. So we must look at our mental state. Look at your mental state. Realize your shortcomings, realize your weaknesses, realize your strengths. And when you realize that if you have to change your lifestyle to better yourself, then do it. Don't make your decision based on your homeboys in the hood, your girlfriend that you hang out with. Because if you think about it, a lot of times when bad things happen to you, you may see a few of those friends that come and offer their help, but the bulk of them, you won't even hear nothing from them. And it's like when I used to work in a prison, the guy said, well, my homeboys. But guess what? If say I pick a state in Atlanta, a person commit a crime, they're sent across the state in another part of the country to do their time. I wonder how many homeboys that they hang out with in the hood, selling drugs and living a life of crime, bought a ticket, flew. If they don't like to fly, they're not going to fly. If it's more than 1 hour drive, they may not even drive. Get in their car, get on the plane, drive to the penitentiary to visit their homeboy that they stuck together, who said at once that was my family. They're on their own. They are on their own. And some prisoners do not even see their own mother, father, if they're alive, or even any family members. And some don't even get any types of monetary help. They're on their own for how many years they're in there. Because of pride, it's not about you. It's like if you commit a crime, and I got you on tape and video, you commit the crime for whatever reason, and you get arrested, you're found guilty. Don't say because I'm black, that's why I got arrested. No, I always hear it all the time. We know there's racism out there. I'm not stupid. I'm not ignorant. We know that, white racism. We always hear about white racism. But guess what, friends? There's black racism. You get a dark-skinned black female with a red-skinned or light-skinned female arguing on one, even two males. I bet you're going to hear the N-word between these individuals. They're going to argue. They're going to fuss. They're going to call people all out their name. Don't tell me, from my experience, that there's no such thing as black racism because we have no power to do anything. Black racism among blacks does exist. You can have a job, go to school, better yourself, get a college degree, do all that you can do to better yourself. And then you do all of that. You put you in a position of authority over your own people, own black race. They are the first one to say, oh, you Uncle Tom, or you working for the white man, or you doing this and you doing that. Like, excuse me? Excuse me? I'm bettering myself. I'm changing. So don't tell me or tell other people if you heard this message. There is such thing as black racism among black individuals. Don't follow the lie as in we have no power to do anything. Or really, when every time there's a killing in the community, it's not about right and wrong. Certain individuals will go to the street, break in the store, steal stuff, TVs, VCR, cell phone, or whatever, in the name of the victim. How did that help the victim when you're stealing for yourself? Then people justify it. But when no one is standing up against this stuff, it becomes acceptable. You burn down the store in the neighborhood because of pride. You burn down the store in the neighborhood that providing you the resources. Now you have to get in your car, get a ride to go out of the neighborhood to buy the thing that you will buy in the neighborhood. And God forbid if it's a black store and you burn it down, what did the owner or Chinese or any owner of a store, what did they do to cause you to do what you did? Pride blinds the individual to commit things to commit to a behavior that they will not normally do if they only allow themselves to think about it and not be influenced. So all of us must begin to do assessment of self and realize that everything we do has a motive behind it. Let me see, I had a thought. Our motive, self-assessment, determine you and I. Our friends and family members cannot determine what we're going to do. They can give advices, they can give helpful information, but we are the final person that will make our life decision. Are you doing anything to bring your goals to pass? Are your goals and dreams are being stopped because self-talk from others, not evaluating your strengths and weaknesses? If you have to go to school or go back to college to further your education, then go. If you don't have to go, then don't go. So it's the motive behind our decision. Motive, self-assessment should be up there in the top 5. Motive is the engine that drives us toward all of our decisions. Our motive is the engine that drives us toward our decisions. And if we make bad decisions, we're going to reap the consequences because of our decisions, and we can't blame anyone because of the choice that we made. We must begin to wake up and begin to chop the head of the snake. I wrote a book. I titled it, You Always Have Snakes in Your Head. What I'm talking about. The snakes that our thoughts are like snakes. We control our thoughts. It's like the mother or father say, you're just like your dad, you never amount to anything. Child grows up, and because the mother said that over and over and over, that child gonna be thinking, my mom said I'll never amount to anything. Even a wife that's not supportive to her husband's decisions or vice versa. Words has impact on people. And so they begin to think about those thoughts. So the snake rises up. The title is, you always have snakes in your head. That's the title of the book. The thoughts that you think. I wanted a cover like the Medusa snakes in the head. I didn't want to go get one off of the internet and use it because I was thinking about it belongs to someone else. So I went into a Circle K store and I saw this guy working behind the counter and he was drawing. I said, could you draw me a Medusa? He said, I don't draw stuff like that. So he said, I'll try. So he drew me my own snakes in the head coming out. And so that's the title of the book. So I send that into the book publishing company, self-published, and they add the snake skin behind it. I have no more copy because I sold the last, I wish I have not. I got to find more because I like the original copy. But then I did a part 2. I made some correction and I put a snake on the front of it. and I think it's you always have snakes in your head, and I think I forgot the subtitle, and I have cut the head off the snakes. You need the anti-venom, you know, the truth. So it's like 6 chapters. It's very good. So the thoughts that we think are like snakes. Our pride is like a snake. You can say, I don't believe nothing you say, Anthony. So what? That's pride. You may not consider anything I said. That's pride. You may say that's your belief, that's your opinion. That's true. You have an opinion, you have a viewpoint. That's true. But we all can learn from each other. When we learn from each other, then we can say, you know what? I thought I knew something, but I didn't know nothing. We can take from other people and add it to what we know to better our thinking, and then we'll make right decisions. So if you like what you heard, share it with other individuals. Allow them to see, allow them to understand that they are always manifesting some form of pride. Maybe they may see their motive in their choices. Maybe they might be on the road to make a decision, and hearing this message may allow them to say, you know, I'm going to step back for a moment. I may still take the road to another location, another whatever, but I'm going to step back for a moment and think. And I learned from my own personal experience. I can say about me, because you can't get mad at me. I can only get mad at myself. I learned from my own personal experience that to be prideful holds you back. To be prideful puts you in a box. To be prideful, you don't ask for help. To be prideful, you think you know it all. To be prideful, you must learn to die to what you think you know, and then start from elementary all the way up until. To be prideful is to not seek the needed help in a specific area that you need help in. And being a man, as I mentioned in one of my messages, most men may call a father, a brother, or so-and-so, someone close to them, but a woman will share what she's going through much quicker than a man. And she may get the help that she needs, but most men will not admit that they have problems. They keep it to themselves. And I just thought of something I didn't say. A lot of individuals had killed themselves because of pride. To kill yourself when there's many, many possibilities out to consider to kill yourself because it's wrong. For number one, you didn't give yourself life. So I have personal experiences where my friends that I know of that had a persona about themselves as strong, tough, rugged, women and female that people will run to respect, they killed themselves. They may have left notes behind why they did it, but they killed themselves because of pride, because they're afraid to cry, they're afraid to dial 911, they're afraid to dial the helpline, they take the alcohol, drugs, or whatever substance to push that feeling down, so they kill themselves. That is pride. You should not want to kill yourself. And you don't have to kill yourself physically. You can kill yourself in the thought that you're thinking that holds you back. You kill yourself in self-talk. You kill yourself by listening to people that has not your best interest at heart. You kill yourself by following this man or that woman. You kill your mental thinking. If you want to go with that, just come to me. It's like we can have an emotional roller coaster, killing ourselves of suicidal thought. Well, ain't no need for me to try that because so-and-so did it. I saw it on TV and this and that. Self-talk. We slowly killing ourselves, and then guess what? Life has become a bore. You take the alcohol, you take the drug, you sleep around, you don't want to be married, you do this and do that. So you have a self-imposed thinking, your motive is wrong. You decide that, who cares? And you take the gun, take the rope, get in the car accident, and you end your life. Now, there's hope. There's hope. So you who are out there who feeling what I'm led to say, I had it in my notes. I didn't see it. Or maybe it's there, but I didn't see it clearly. But the thought came to me to say that. Because when individuals are at a certain mindset and see no hope, and why don't they see any hope? Because their pride has blinded them and they don't see no hope. And when hope do come, they don't recognize it because they never allow it to come in. They see the world around them. People are succeeding. They see television commercials. They see pretty models, pretty guys. They see people doing things, achieving things in their life. Their friends and family members be going places, and they look at their life and say, I don't even see nothing in me. I'm worthless. I'm useless. There's no hope for me. The color of my skin, 9 strikes, I'm out. Who's going to help me? I don't have a GED. I drop out of school. I sell drugs. Who want me? Look at my hair. Look at my clothes. Look at my saggy pants. Maybe I need to pull up my pants. Maybe I need to do something with my hair. Maybe I need to change my company and friends. Do you think they're going to do that? Some may do it for a little bit, for a little while, and some may not. So don't blame your lack of on others. It's the motive and your lack of self-assessment. And from there, that is the motive. That is the engine that will drive you. If you like what you heard, share it with other individuals. God willing, back next Sunday. Thank you.